In a political drama that could rival the most crippling television series, Australia's Conservative coalition has just experienced its most significant rupture in decades. The Liberal National Partnership, a fixture of Australian politics for over 60 years, has fractured. But this is just about policy disagreement. It's about trust, communication, and delicate art of political survival.
This morning, our party room made the decision to rejoin the coalition after, obviously, the party room meeting of the Liberal Party on Friday. And I thank the Liberal Party and the leadership of Susan in getting to that position to make sure there's understanding about the way forward, that the focus now is on Anthony Albanese and the Labor government and holding them to account, because that's important for our democracy. That's important for Australians, that they know we've laid the foundation stones of a coalition that can move forward and work together to ensure that we hold them to account, but also have an alternative government in 3 years.
Meanwhile, Anthony Albanese Labour Party was busy celebrating what can only be described as a political masterclass, but the Prime Minister's Queensland victory speech reveals something deeper than mere electoral arithmetic. This isn't just political rhetoric, it's a strategy positioning. Albanese is painting the Labour as the stable adults in the room, while his opponents engage in what he characterized as internal warfare. The numbers tell their own story. Labour caucus now stand at 124 members, the largest in federal parliament history. The economic backdrop provides Labour with political gold, concrete achievements to point to, while their opponents wrestle with existential questions about their future. Here's where the story becomes genuinely compelling. The coalition breakdown wasn't just about the policy, it was intensely personal, as Barnaby Joyce's remarkable candid interview reveals.
Look, I'm going to be honest, because you talked about honesty with Jane Ham, so I'm going to move on. It's not generational change. That's ridiculous. It's personality and politics. If you look at it, I know David's 48, fair enough. Kevin's 61. I'm 58, so he's older than me. Bridget, 55, well, same area. Darren, just slightly younger than me at 57. Susan and Ross at 55. It's not generational changes. So we've got to be straight. And the great thing about being on the back bench is trying to cut through this. It is a decision based on policy and personalities, and that's okay. That is absolutely, Bridget's right, that is the prerogative of the leader. I think we've got to be careful. I look at who Mr Littleprad's picked. I would say all of them in the cabinet voted for him in the leadership spill, and the vast majority of the others. So if you don't link both sides up, it's hard to bring unity back into the party structure. Not for 1 second. I said it, I'm not on your show, but I think on Sky. I never presumed I was going to get picked. In fact, I read it in the paper about a week ago with exactly the same narrations as what David said to me over the phone. So it's been out there. So this is no surprise.
Joyce's brutal honesty cut through political spin. He essentially calling out his own party leadership for this honesty about their motivation. But the policy disagreements run deeper than personal grievances.
What I think is more important than all of that, though, is net zero. Net zero is atrocious for our nation. It's atrocious for the defence of our nation, because it prohibits and basically restricts our capacity to produce the products that are so essential for us to defend ourselves, such as fuel. It's atrocious for the environment, like here, when you want to cover our fields with swindle factories, wind towers, solar panels, transmission lines. That would happen. That's no good. It's really, really bad for our economy. It's dragging it into the dirt. And most importantly, we're going to have a 9.7% rise in power prices by the 1st July here in New South Wales.
This isn't just climate policy debate. This is about fundamental worldviews colliding within the conservative movement. Meanwhile, Bridget McKenzie attempts to navigate these treacherous waters with more diplomatic language.
Debate and discussion about it. We're going to base our decision around data. We are living with the very real consequences of net zero by 2050 in our communities, socially, economically and environmentally. We don't want to rush to that decision, but we do want to have the discussion, get the data and make a decision.
The joint press conference between Susan Lee and David Littleproud offers a masterclass in political theatre. Two leaders trying to protect unity while managing barely concealed tensions.
I promised my leadership would be done differently, and it will be. I've communicated with every single member of my party room about this shadow ministry, those who are in the shadow ministry and those who are not. Now, that style might be unconventional, but it's important because I always said that I would harness the talents of my party room. Everyone has a role to play, even if they're not formally in this lineup. And as I said, I've communicated with every member of my party room, all 54, because this is a team that draws on the deep well of the Australian experience.
Lee emphasized on communication sounds almost like a response to criticism about poor consultation, but little proud language reveals the delicate nature of their negotiations.
Because we've laid the boundaries, we've laid the foundation stones, and while there's been gossip and innuendo through the halls of the gallery, let me be clear. Susan and I have always kept the lines of communication open. We've risen above that. We haven't let us get distracted by what's been reported. We've always made sure that this was the end goal.
The phrases, gossips, and innuendo suggest significant behind-the-scenes tension that both leaders are trying to downplay. Their body language and carefully chosen words tells a story of a partnership under strain. This political drama reflects broader tension within conservative movement globally. The traditional coalition model, urban liberals partnering with rural nationals, is under pressure from changing demographic and evolving voters' priorities. Mackenzie's admission about Jane Hume exclusion reveals how even senior figures were surprised by some leadership decision. This suggests communication breakdowns and strategic disagreements that go beyond public statements. The electoral mathematics are stark. The Liberals are down to 28 seats, their worst result in history, while Labour holds 94 seats, their largest majority ever. These numbers reshape everything about how politics operate in Canberra. We're witnessing isn't just a temporary political spat. It's a realignment that could define Australian politics for years to come. The conservative movements face fundamental questions about identity, policy direction, and leadership's approach. Labour message is clear. While their opponent engage in internal battles, they're focused on governing. Whether this new political reality strengthens or weakens Australian democracy remain the key question as this remarkable political drama continues to unfold. This is Miko Santos, and this is Inside AusPol.